Well, ladies and gentlemen, what you're seeing before you right now is M57, the Ring Nebula. And Michael and I have been chasing this thing all night because I suspect that the coordinates that are entered in to the database associated with our G11 mount are wrong.
Should we tell them the actual location?
Well, it's where I always expect it to be. There's like 3 stars you can see in the finder scope, and then what you do is you like
we caught a glimpse of it last night inside the actual scope. But
well, and last night we actually had all the alignments done and everything was working really well.
It was hard to get this one aligned tonight.
We could not, so that's why I suspect the database is wrong. But anyway, this is the Ring Nebula is a planetary nebula. I think it's several thousand light years away. It's about a little brighter than the 10th magnitude. You can't quite see it in the finder scope, but this is pretty spectacular. Anytime you see it through the eyepiece, it doesn't look nearly as bright as this. So, so Michael and I spent some time setting up some settings, and I would like to display them as part of this video. The settings we came up with worked reasonably well on M13 too.
It was.
It gave the scarab beetle appearance of M13 globular cluster. It did show the center a little bit overexposed, but there was some granularity to it, right?
There really was.
So this is really quite a bright image. This is much brighter than you would see through a 6-inch telescope. So the Revolution 2 imager really does a good job, but we had to fine-tune the parameters. I think, did we
took us about an hour.
Yeah. Oh, I know, but we've been really struggling with the mount. The mount has just been...
It just did not want to park properly.
Yeah, and we had it working well last night. It's just something we're going to have to continue to diagnose.
We just finally forced it to park.
Well, we parked it. We used the level buttons, and then we pushed on go to Altair, and it pretty much lined up roughly with Altair.
It did.
And then we went to Vega as the 2nd star alignment.
Of course, Vega is always a pain.
Well, we centered it up really nice, and then we pressed M57, and it wasn't anywhere near it.
Nope.
So it didn't have far to go.
Yeah.
So we've been struggling with this, but the view now that we're getting, we also lost a cable along the way. It opened up, and we weren't getting, so now we have to manually push it. It was an extension.
Screen.
Yeah, it's a 2-man screen. It was an extension cable we needed. So we had nothing but obstacles, but it's been fun.
It has been.
We have learned a lot.
It's like fishing, patience.
Yeah.
Fishing for stars.
So this is really a brilliant image of the Ring Nebula. And we can look at it on the screen. Now, you may not be able to see it on this video.
But we can see the central.
There's texture, and there's a central star, and that's a 15th magnitude star.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it on the screen, and there's texture in the nebula, you know, where it elongates. I'll call it north and south because of the way it's displaying. I can't really say that's its real orientation, but we're looking at the screen, and you can see like a delicacy, texture above, here, below, and above the Ring Nebula. It's quite spectacular.
You can also see that there's a little bit of shade right
there. There's some no, that's what I mean, that texture we're seeing. Like I said, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I'm going to break from this video right now, and then I am going to go and see if we can pump in M13 so we can get a look at that too. Anyway, we had hoped to do a lot more deep sky stuff tonight, but that all depended on being able to get the scope to go to and align. We had to make some mechanical adjustments to the position of the scope too, because it was bumping. It could have bumped into stuff with the extension of the resolution imager. I could not get it to come to focus with a diagonal, which would have made the scope smaller. So we had to go and stick it right on the end of the optical tube assembly, which made the scope longer, so we had to deal with that.